I will say that Succession is just reigning supreme in my house right now.
It turns out Emily Blunt is a big Succession fan. In a fun round of very important questions with the LA Times, the actress shared that she loves the show, which wrapped its 4th and final season last month. In an exclusive clip, she shared 2 of the performances that stood out to her.
I love everybody in it. Everybody. Matthew McFadden is just a genius and could watch him do anything. But I think what Brian Cox did with that role, which could have been so archetypal on the page, and made it so layered and terrifying. He's terrifying, but also so limited and has downfalls and fears, and I just am sort of intoxicated by watching what he does.
Emily also joined the Times for their The Envelope Roundtable limited series and discussed her work on the Amazon Prime Video limited series, The English. The British star explained what drew her to make a Western and how she prepared for her role.
How much research, or what did you have to do to get into that role? Were you, you know, because it's a revisionist Western, you know, you're this aristocratic British woman there. And so did you like have to watch a lot of Clint Eastwood for like, you know, what did you do to get into that?
I mean, you know, I'd always wanted to do a Western because it's such a kind of mythic story space, and it's really a potent world. You know, it's like that world that's built on brutality and revenge and like the pursuit of justice, and like there are all these great themes running through it. I just, when I read it, I found it so surprising and so unpredictable, and found her so unpredictable that, you know, when she first shows up, like Alice in the Wild Wild West, like a fish out of water, you think she's one thing. You think she appears to be this sort of feminine ideal, and you just think, oh my gosh, she's toast. Like, she's never gonna make it, like, it's over. And then she just turns out to be this kind of gradual unfurling of like a bit of a force to be reckoned with. And he wrote, Hugo Blick, who wrote it, with such kind of modernity, and it had such panache to it that it just pierced through me directly, like when I read it. There was no sort of flowery, a thing that held you at a distance from the piece. You know, it didn't really conform to period dramas, you know. It had this thing that was so modern, and she was so unusual, and I never knew where it was going. So I lent in more into the script, really. Like, I grew up watching a lot of Westerns, and like, of course, going into it, I watched like The Unforgiven again, and I watched The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and I watched all of the spaghetti Westerns, but I felt this was a really groundbreaking version of a Western. Yeah. Something new, you know.
Watch the premiere of the Envelope Roundtable limited series on Friday night at 7 p.m. on Spectrum News 1 and streaming on the Spectrum News app.